man sits in a quiet room and looks at a chair. It is not a holy object. It is not expensive. It is just a chair with bamboo-colored legs. Yet for a while, under the pressure of a strange drug, it becomes almost impossible for him to treat it as ordinary. The chair is still there, but his usual mind is not. This is a read-aloud summary of The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley. It matters tonight because it asks a hard question. How much of reality do we miss because our minds are busy protecting us? The ache at the center of this book is simple. You want to feel alive, but most days you only feel useful. You move through rooms, answer messages, eat, plan, worry, and sleep. You see enough to function, but not enough to wonder. Huxley is asking why that happens. The book moves through 3 phases: a supervised mescaline experiment in Los Angeles, Huxley's attempt to describe what perception became, and his larger theory that the brain may filter reality down so we can survive it. The mind narrows life. Huxley begins with a plant and a mistake of history. In 1886, a German pharmacologist named Ludwig Lewin studied peyote, a small cactus used in Native American ceremonies. Later, scientists isolated mescaline, the active chemical in peyote. Huxley is fascinated by this because mescaline does not simply make a person drunk or sleepy. It changes the way ordinary perception works. On a morning in May, he swallows 0.4 of a gram of mescaline dissolved in water. He is in Los Angeles. A researcher is present. He is not trying to escape life. He wants to observe his own mind carefully. The first surprise is what does not happen. He expects visions with his eyes closed, inner movies, bright scenes, maybe sacred symbols. Instead, almost nothing appears. His imagination stays poor. The drug does not give him a private cinema. That is important. Tomorrow morning, you can test the smaller version of this idea without any drug. Sit with one common object for 60 seconds. A cup, a shirt, a plant by the window. Do not name it, use it, or judge it. Just look. You may notice how quickly your mind tries to reduce the thing to a label. Huxley's first lesson is not that chemicals create meaning. It is that normal consciousness is already doing something powerful. It cuts, sorts, and simplifies. That simplification keeps you alive, but it also makes the world feel thin. Once you see that, the next question becomes uncomfortable. If the mind is narrowing life all day, what exactly gets left outside? What the drug changed? The change arrives through color. Huxley looks at flowers in a small glass vase. They are red and blue flowers, and suddenly they are not decorations. Their colors seem charged with presence. He sees them as intensely themselves. They do not point to a lesson. They do not need to be useful. They simply exist with a force he cannot ignore. He uses the word isness. By that, he means the direct fact of a thing before the mind turns it into a category. A flower is not just an example of a flower. It is this flower, here, now, complete in itself. Most of your day is spent dealing with labels: inbox, dinner, bed, work, problem, person. The morning practice is to pick one thing and see it before naming it. The label can come later. This is why the book feels both mystical and practical. Huxley is asking you to notice how quickly the useful mind becomes the only mind you trust. He looks at books next. Some have bright covers: jade green, scarlet, white, yellow. The colors seem more important than their titles. He sees them as objects with weight, surface, and presence. You know this feeling in a smaller way. A room you have ignored for months suddenly looks strange after you return from a trip. A face you love suddenly appears new in certain light. Nothing changed, except the grip of habit loosened for a moment. Huxley wants to stay with that loosened grip, because beneath it, he finds a quiet grief. He realizes how much beauty he normally walks past because he is busy being someone with tasks. Then the experiment moves from beauty into something more disturbing. The world does not only become brighter, its normal structure begins to shift. Space stops commanding. Under ordinary perception, we constantly measure space. We care how far the chair is from the desk, where the door is, how to cross the room, how to move without bumping into things. This is useful. It lets us survive. Huxley notices that mescaline weakens this habit. When the researcher asks about spatial relationships, Huxley finds them less interesting. Distance is still there, but it has lost power. The objects in the room are no longer arranged mainly as tools or obstacles. They appear more like presences. This shows how much perception is tied to action. We do not only see the world, we see what we can do with it. A chair means sit. A door means leave. A clock means hurry. A phone means respond. Try this tomorrow. When you enter a room, pause before you use anything. Notice how your eyes jump toward function. The chair means sit. The table means storage. The phone means demand. For 10 seconds, let the objects be objects before they become instructions. Huxley is not saying function is bad. Without function, you could not live an ordinary life. He is saying function can become a prison when it is the only way you see. Here, the book quietly becomes more than a drug report. It becomes a diagnosis of normal life. We think we are seeing reality. Often we are seeing a map of our needs. That sentence is the hinge of the book. Once Huxley sees this, he begins to suspect that ordinary consciousness is not a clear window. It is more like a filter built for survival. It keeps out what would overwhelm us, and it lets in what helps us act. The chair in the room has not returned yet. It is waiting, because Huxley first has to explain why the mind may be built to miss so much. The brain as a valve. Huxley borrows an idea from the philosopher C.D. Broad, who had been influenced by the French thinker Henri Bergson. The idea is called the reducing valve. It means the brain and nervous system may not produce all consciousness from nothing. They may reduce a much larger field of possible awareness into the small stream we can use. This is the book's most famous idea. Huxley thinks the mind filters reality because too much raw perception would crush us. To live, we need selection. We need to know where the food is, who is angry, what must be done next, and which danger is close. So the brain protects us by making the world manageable. But the price is high. We mistake the manageable version for the whole truth. Huxley connects this to language. Words help us survive together. They let us share warnings, plans, laws, jokes, and memories. Yet words also freeze experience. Once something has a name, we stop looking closely. The name becomes enough. When you feel trapped in your own thoughts, ask what the label is. Failure, late, unlovable, behind. Then ask what is actually present in the room. A body breathing, a lamp, a wall, a message unanswered. The label may be real, but it is never the whole scene. This is why Huxley's book can comfort a tired listener at night. It does not tell you your ordinary mind is stupid. It tells you your ordinary mind is doing a difficult job. It is keeping you alive. It is also hiding parts of life from you. That is a kinder diagnosis than self-blame. But Huxley does not pretend the opened mind is safe or simple. If the filter weakens too much, a person may lose the ability to function. He compares mescaline experience with certain forms of schizophrenia, not to say they are the same, but to ask whether both involve a breakdown in normal filtering. The difference is control, context, and the ability to come back. That is where the book becomes serious. The door can open onto beauty, but a door that never closes may become terror. Beauty without use. Huxley spends much of the experience looking at things most people would ignore: flowers, folds of cloth, book covers, chair legs. He is struck by how wrong our normal scale of value can be. We rank things by use, cost, status, and urgency. Under mescaline, a fold in gray flannel can seem more worthy of attention than a social achievement. The emotional force of this is not hard to understand. You have probably had days when everything useful got done and nothing felt real. The work was finished. The room was clean. The messages were sent. Still, something in you felt untouched. Huxley gives language to that feeling. The useful life is not the same as the full life. He also sees why art matters. Great painters can train perception back toward presence. He mentions Van Gogh because Van Gogh could make a chair, a pair of shoes, or a field feel charged with existence. The object remains ordinary, but attention changes its weight. This is not a command to become an artist. It is an invitation to borrow the artist's attention for a few minutes. Look at your own room as if someone had painted it. The chipped cup, the blanket, the charger cable, the weak light on the wall. Do not make it dramatic. Just give it enough attention to become real again. Huxley believes religions and contemplative traditions have always tried to describe this shift. Words like suchness, mind, and the divine are attempts to name a state where things are not merely useful or symbolic. They are seen directly. The danger is that big words can become another screen. Huxley's best moments happen when he returns to objects: flowers, books, cloth, a chair. He trusts the concrete thing more than the impressive explanation. That may be the book's most practical spiritual advice. When your mind becomes too abstract, return to one real thing. Yet there is one final test. Can this changed perception survive contact with ordinary life, with errands, visits, politeness, and the small furniture of the world? The chair returns. Near the end of the experience, Huxley looks at a chair with bamboo-colored legs. Earlier, the world had seemed full of presence. Now the chair becomes a symbol of what art tries to do. He thinks of Van Gogh's chair, not because the chair is beautiful in a normal way, but because it stands there with stubborn reality. The open loop from the beginning closes here. The chair was never the point because it was special. It mattered because Huxley could no longer dismiss it as background. His perception had changed enough for an ordinary object to demand respect. This is the quiet conclusion of the book. The doors of perception are not only about visions, they are about the possibility of seeing ordinary life without immediately shrinking it to use, habit, and language. Huxley does not give a simple prescription. He treats the drug as one temporary opening, not a complete way of life. A human being still needs judgment, duty, memory, and practical sense. Someone has to cook the meal, keep promises, and come back from the vision. So the takeaway for tomorrow is modest. Do not chase intensity. Practice attention. Before you reach for your phone, look at one object beside your bed. Before you name your mood, feel the body that is having it. Before you reduce a person to their role in your life, let them be more than useful to you for a moment. This book stays with people because it names a loss they already feel. We are not only tired from doing too much, We are tired from seeing too little of what is already here. The chair is still just a chair. The room is still just a room. But maybe the ordinary world has been waiting for a quieter kind of attention. Tonight, before sleep takes over, what is one thing near you that you have looked at 100 times but have not truly seen?